प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरता 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 जय गौरता जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गौरा हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल। Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sindhu Mataji. We will start. We'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, I welcome you all for today's session. Am I audible?
Yes, dear.
Yes. And I seek blessings from all of you so that whatever I speak is in Guru Parampara and for the pleasure of the Lord. So let us start. Yes, can anybody tell about yesterday's session or last two sessions, whatever you have heard? Anybody
Hare
want
Krishna
to?
Mataji.
Yes, Hare
Yesterday
Krishna.
session we spoke about Naradji's pastime. Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavad Pranam Mataji.
Narad Muni's glories yesterday Mataji said in the class,
Yes.
and about Pruthu Maharaj also.
Hmm. Okay. Yes. Sindhu Mataji, you want to say something?
Mataji, we saw about the best way of to perform yajna in this way is the Sankirtana yajna.
Yes.
We
Yes,
started
Mataji.
with
Yes. Okay. So let us start with today's session. Thank you so much. Those who can switch on their cameras, please switch on so that I can also see, take your darshan. I'll just share the screen. We are on verse number 9 today. Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, verse number 9. Yes, who wants to recite? Sindhu Mataji, you want to recite the verse?
yes, Mataji.
Yes, you can.
Text 9. Sindavo ratna nikaran girayonam chaturvidam upayanam upajahruhu sarve lokah sapalakah Sindavad oceans ratna nikharan heaps of jewels girayah the hills annam eatables chatur.
Mataji, just read the
Oh, okay.
translation and purport.
Okay, Mataji. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prithu was presented various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. Purport. As stated in the Ishopanishad, this material creation is supplied with all the potencies for the production of all necessities required by the living entities, not only human beings, but animals, reptiles, aquatics, and trees. The oceans and seas produce pearls, coral, and valuable jewels so that fortunate law-abiding people can utilize them. Similarly, the hills are full of chemicals so that when rivers flow down from them, the chemicals spread over the fields to fertilize the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. These are technically known as charvya, those edibles which are chewed, lehya, those which are licked up, chushya, those which are swallowed, and peya, those which are drunk. Prithu Maharaj was greeted by the residents of other planets and their presiding deities. They presented various gifts to the king and acknowledged him as a proper type of king by whose planning and activities everyone throughout the universe could be happy and prosperous. It is clearly indicated in this verse that the oceans and seas are meant for producing jewels, but in Kali Yuga, the oceans are mainly being utilized for fishing. Shudras and poor men were allowed to fish, but the higher classes like Kshatriyas and Vaishyas would gather pearls, jewels, and coral. Although poor men would catch tons of fish, they would not be equal in value to one piece of coral or pearl. In this age, so many factories for the manufacture of fertilizers have been opened. But when the personality of God is pleased by the performance of yajnas, the hills automatically produce fertilizing chemicals which help produce edibles in the fields. Everything is dependent on the people's acceptance of the Vedic principles of sacrifice.
Yes.
Hare
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we saw in a previous chapter and in previous verses also how earth was not producing sufficient grains, people were hungry, and how Prithu Maharaj chased earth. Now, if we go little back, King Vena, when he was ruling, he stopped actually all kinds of sacrifices which were being performed, correct? And because of that, and people were not using the resources properly, and so earth had hidden all the food grains, isn't it? And so Prithu Maharaj, when he understood that earth is not producing the grains, he chased the earth, and finally he convinced earth to produce food grains again. And now in this chapter, we saw that Prithu Maharaj is now going to do 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. And we see that uh, how opulent, while Prithu Maharaj was ruling, how earth was producing all kinds of foodstuffs. We read in the purport that all necessities required by the living entities, not only human beings, but all animals, aquatics, reptiles, trees, everything was produced profusely. Correct? So here we understand one thing, that like our body has immune system, isn't it? So whenever our body is attacked by bacteria or viruses, our immune system fights and it attacks back, right? So similarly, the earth also has immune system. If human beings don't act properly, the immune system of earth attacks back, correct? And it is in the form of um, calamities, like earth is not very fertile as it used to be, or soil corrosion, or natural calamities, or we are not getting jewels from ocean, like that. So earth also attacks back to the human beings. So if we do not act properly, we will not get the opulent things like it is mentioned in the purport. We will not, nowadays especially, we are facing this problem, isn't it? That people are, acting crazily and doing all sorts of crazy things to extract what they call wealth from the earth, correct? And that's why earth is so upset, that we see that people are hungry somewhere, and somewhere resources are profusely available, and unequal distribution of resources are there, correct? And uh, because of people are starving also, and lot of things we are finding in our surroundings, in the atmosphere, correct? So this is because man is not using the earth's resources properly, correct? What was happening during the reign of all these great kings, Prithu Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, uh, all these Lord Ramchandra. So all what was happening, it is not happening now, and that's why we are facing so many problems. And then one more thing in the purport is Prithu Maharaj was greeted by the residents of other planets, and he was presented so many precious gifts, right? But one thing to be noted here, that though Prithu Maharaj was receiving all these kinds of gifts, he was not at all enamored by those things, right? So generally, that in this world, the tendency is that if one gets power and opulence, one becomes enamored by those things. Like Queen Kunti says that where if one has good birth, one is intelligent, one is beautiful, then one becomes proud of what he possesses, and one cannot discharge devotional service to the Lord properly, right? So power actually corrupts the minds of people. But here, Prithu Maharaj receiving all these things, but still he is completely Krishna conscious, correct? And the reason is that basically he is Shaktavesh avatar of the Lord, and also he is a great devotee, and he is remembering that Ishavasya principle, which is mentioned in the Ishopanishad, that everything is given by the Lord, and people, everybody has given his quota, and everybody should remember that from whom we are getting everything. Correct? So that principle he is remembering very properly, and that's why he is not at all bewildered by praise of these residents of other planets and everybody. So we should be aware of this great danger, especially in this age of Kali, that we it happens with materialistic people also, and it happens with devotees also. Correct? Devotees get opulence and due to the performance of devotional service. And this opulence may deviate us from our Krishna consciousness if our sadhana is not strong. That we should remember always. So um, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that how do anarthas arise in the heart of devotee. Anarthas are unwanted things, and they deviate us from devotional service. So these anarthas come from sinful activities or offenses, or also pious activities or opulences what we get. Correct? So when we get position, popularity, then it may go into our head, and then one may become proud. Correct? So we have to be very careful, and we should keep always one thing in mind, that everything has to be utilized in Krishna's service. Correct? As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya aparuta chetasam. So one who becomes attached to sense enjoyment, bhog and aishwarya, opulences, then his intelligence is lost. He cannot focus on performing devotional service to the Lord. Correct? So the Prithu Maharaj, here one more thing Prabhupada mentions is that Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they would gather pearls, jewels, and corals. So here it is mentioned, Brahmanas are not mentioned, correct? So actually the role of Brahmanas, they live on charity, correct? And they are voluntarily austere, and therefore to remain on Brahmanical platform, one should give up the holding mentality. Okay, and Brahmanas actually, it is said that they should keep only that much which is needful, which is needed for their survival, and the rest all whatever they get in charity, that is the standard recommended for Brahmanas. So here we see that Prithu Maharaj is a king, and it is mentioned here that Kshatriyas and Vaishyas would gather pearls, jewels, and coral. But we should also understand here that Prithu is acting as a proper king, proper Kshatriya. He is receiving everything, but he is utilizing everything for the benefit of his citizens. This Ashwamedha sacrifices also he is performing for the benefit of his citizens, and for the pleasure of the Lord. Correct? So these 2-3 points we understand from this purport, and then let us move to the next shloka. Yes. Yes, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, you want to recite?
Yes, Mataji. Recite case purport only.
Yes, you
Where is
can.
Slok Mataji? Ki purport.
What, Mataji?
May I read purport or sloka? Sloka, Mataji. Hello.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Your screen is not
Yeah,
showing.
my connection got lost. I just shared the screen again.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
इति चादोक्षजेशस्य पृथोस्तु परमोदयम् असूयन् भगवान् इन्द्र प्रतिघातं चिकरत
Achikarat.
चिकरत translation कि पर
Translation, Mataji.
but in screen only purport. Yes,
What?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adhokshaja. Because of many sacrifices, he was superhumanly and enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. However, could not be tolerated by the King of Heaven, Indra, who tried to impede.
No.
Ataji, the
No.
screen is too large, so I
You
can't.
cannot see.
Yeah, no, I can't read because
Who
screen
tried
is
to
so large.
impede the progress of his opulence.
Yes. Now it's okay, Mataji.
Huh.
Now
Okay.
the purport. In the
Mataji, you read the or shall I tell other two people, Mataji?
no,
Because
Mataji, I am reading now
okay.
because the screen is so large, so some words I can't read.
Okay.
That's why. Now
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
In this verse, there are three significant purposes expressed in the words Adokshaja, Bhagwan Indra, and Pruthu Maharaj. Pruthu is an incarnation of the Vishnu, yet he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Although an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is nonetheless a living entity. As much he must be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although one is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is an incarnation, he should not forget his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Kali Yuga, there are many self-made incarnations, rascals who declare themselves to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Bhagwan Indra indicate that a living entity can even be exalted and powerful as King Indra. For even King Indra is an ordinary living entity in the material world and possesses the four defects of the conditioned soul. King Indra is described herein as Bhagwan, which is generally used to reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this case, however, King Indra is addressed as Bhagwan because he has so much power in his hands, and despite his becoming Bhagwan, he is envious of the incarnation of God, Pruthu Maharaj. The defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination, King Indra becomes envious of an incarnation of God. We should try to understand. Therefore, how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Pruthu was not dependent on material condition. As described in this verse, he was great devotee of Adhokshaja. The word Adhokshaja indicate the personality of Godhead, who is beyond the expression of mind and words. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears before the devotee in his original form of eternal bliss and knowledge. The devotee is allowed to see the Supreme Lord face to face, although the Lord is beyond the expression of our senses and beyond our direct perception. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavata.
Krishna. Dhanyavad. Thank you, Mataji. So in this verse, we see that King Prithu was totally dependent upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Because he performed so many sacrifices just for the pleasure of the Lord. He did not have any other intention in his mind when he was performing the sacrifices. He just wanted benefits for his citizens, and he wanted the pleasure of the Lord. He wanted to please the Lord, right? But here the sentence in the shloka which we see that Asuyan Bhagavan Indraha. Correct? So Asuya means envy, right? So Indra became envious, seeing the opulence of Prithu Maharaj. Actually, Indra is the king of the heavenly planets, and he has so much opulence, but still he became envious of Prithu Maharaj. Now, just think one thing that now let us compare. Suppose Ambani is there. We know that how rich and how how much opulence they have. So they will not. Ambanis will not be envious of us because we are very ordinary people as compared to Ambanis, right? But they may get envious of people who are richer, more rich than them, or equal to their level, correct? So they may become envious of them. So here, this Indra, he was envious and he was little afraid also, seeing the opulence of Prithu Maharaj, thinking that now Prithu Maharaj, if he performs hundreds Ashwamedha sacrifices, then he may take my position, or he may become more famous than me. Correct? And that was Indra's fear, and that's why he became envious of Maharaj Prithu. And what did he do? He tried to impede the progress of Prithu Maharaj's opulence. Now, it is the human tendency that sometimes one thing is that we have something, I mean, we may think bad of somebody in our mind, okay? But that is limited to our mind. Then the other next step is we talk about it, or we criticize some person. That is the second stage. And the third stage is we actually do some things to impede their progress. So here Indra is doing the same thing. He is trying to impede the progress of Prithu Maharaj's opulence. Prithu Maharaj, how fallen, we can see how fallen Indra is. Prithu Maharaj is trying to do render service to the Supreme Lord by performing this sacrifice, and Indra is trying to impede that. See see how much opulent he is, but still how he became fallen. So this enviousness, no, it grows like cancer, right? So people do craziest things, horrible things, when they become envious. So it is said that when one becomes envious, he doesn't know what he is doing. Correct? We can understand that whenever we become angry or lustful or envious, then we don't understand what exactly we are doing. Now we tend to do crazy things because our intelligence is, it is lost kind of. No, we cannot focus on correct things. So things like terrorist attacks, or shooting in schools or in churches, So these things happen. Why? Because the people become envious. So Indra is also envious, and now in the next verse we will see what act he is going to do when he becomes envious. So actually the problem is that people don't know how to become happy. Correct? And that's why they think that increasing the mentality of lording it over the material nature or having control over others is the way of happiness. But actually it is not the case. Exactly the opposite is the case. Exactly the opposite is the thing, that if we decrease the mentality of lording it over or controlling the other things, then we become happy. Correct? And if we totally annihilate this controlling mentality, then we become perfect in happiness. Correct? So we have to become non-envious well-wishers of all. So just we'll talk about this envy. This envy is very difficult to remove from heart. Correct? It is very, very difficult. And generally, whenever we want to teach good habits to small children, generally we tell him that don't do this, don't go there, you don't do like that. Correct? So we try to tell him in a very negative way, isn't it? So instead of that, what we should do is we should try to tell him the positive things so that the negative things automatically go away. So similarly, if we want to remove envy from our heart, so envy are nothing but the anarthas, which are nothing but the bad qualities in our heart. So what we have to do is simply we have to fill our heart with good qualities. Okay. And um, how to do that? Correct? So envy is jealousy of others. So how we can counteract it is by appreciating the devotees or by appreciating the people around us. Correct? So when we Prabhupada did the same thing. Correct? He made hippies into happies. So what qualities did those hippies had? Isn't it? They were all drunkards, and they were taking drugs, and no, all kinds of sinful activities they had done. But Prabhupada, he had so much love, appreciation, and concern for each and every devotee, and he appreciated and cared for each and every one of them, and we see the result that those hippies, they became happies, and now they are leaders in ISKCON society. Okay, so what happens is we instead of when we try to prove, we have a tendency that when we try to prove ourselves better than others, then we try to find faults in others. Correct? And indirectly, we keep meditating on those faults. And it is said that if we keep meditating on certain things, then we become like that. Correct? So if we keep meditating on the faults, then those faults come in us. Right? So what we have to do is we have to look for good qualities. We have to meditate on good qualities so that we can inculcate, or those good qualities can come to us then. Correct? So this envy, there is a nice sentence that envy blocks us and non-enviousness liberates us. Okay, so why we came into this material world? It is nothing but the envy. We wanted to enjoy separately from the Lord, and that's why we came into this material world, which is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. We are not going to get permanent happiness in this material world, right? So that's why what we have to do is we just have to focus our attention on good qualities or appreciation of others, so that envy will not have place in our heart, and then we can go back to Krishna. Correct? We can be in association of devotees under the shelter of Guru, and we can go back to him. Correct? That is the thing. So this is the way Prabhupada has given us this best way. If we are engaged in devotional service, then this is the best way we can come out of this danger of envy, because it is a very dangerous. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Trividam narakasya dwaram nashanam atmana kama krodhas tatha lobha tasmad etat trayam tyajet. So these three are the gates to hell: Kam, Krodh, and Lobha. Correct? Lust, anger, and greed. That is envy also. So one cannot. I'll just read. Yeah, these are the three gates to hell, and they lead to degradation of the soul. Correct? So Prabhupada has given us a very nice way of engaging our mind and our senses in the service of the Lord, so that we can get rid of all these anarthas and serve the Lord and go back to Him. Okay. And then one more point mentioned here is Indra. Indra is though he is so opulent, no, he is ultimately a living entity only. And so he has those 4 defects. Which 4 defects a living entity has? Anybody knows? Yes, anybody? Okay. We have, first thing is we have imperfect senses, correct? And so we become illusion, and then we commit sins, and then we have the cheating propensity. Right? So Indra is doing here the same thing, that though he is at such a exalted position, but still he is a living entity, and he is taken over by envy for Prithu Maharaj, and that's why now he is trying to impede the progress of Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this thing, Indra is trying to impede him. So let us go to the next verse. Yes. Yes, Divya Mataji.
चर चरमेणाश्वमेधेन यजमाने यजुष्पतिं वैन्ये यज्ञ पशुं स्पर्धन् पोवाहतिरोहितः. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you can read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranams.
Yes, Mataji, you can, okay. Yes, Navakishori Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport Prabhupada, thank you, Mataji. King Indra is known as Sata Kratu, which indicates that he has performed 100 sacrifices, Ashwamedha Yagna. We should know, however, that the animals sacrificed in the yajna were not killed. If the Vedic mantras were properly pronounced during the sacrifice, the animal sacrificed would come out again with a new life. That is the taste for a successful yajna. Now, when King Prithu was performing 100 yajnas, Indra became very envious because he did not want anyone to excel him. Being an ordinary living entity, he became envious of King Prithu and making himself invisible. He stole the horse and thus impeded the yajna performance. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So King Prithu, he wanted to do 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices, and now Charanam Ashwamedhena means, Charanam means he is at the last. He is in the last horse sacrifice. Okay. And when he was performing that sacrifice, spardhan means what? Competition, right? We know that competition is very dangerous. So competition leads to envy. And same thing happened here, that Indra became envious of Prithu Maharaj. And then what did he do is apovaha tirohitaha. Okay. So what did he do? He stole the horse in the sacrifice, and yeah, and he knew that actually that horse was not for him. That was, the sacrifice was being made for pleasure of the Lord. But we should understand that the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Lord of Prithu Maharaj also and Lord of Indra also. But still, Indra's mind was polluted and he became envious and he stole that horse. So he not only stole that, Indra is also a Kshatriya. He is a king of heavenly planets. And a real Kshatriya, he will call for any battle, face to face. He will call his enemy face to face. That is the quality of a real Kshatriya. But here, what Indra did, he adopted some wrong means, isn't it? He became invisible and he stole the horse of King Prithu. So this is how false religion came into existence. And one more point in this verse is, one more point is, King Indra is known as Shatakratu, that is one who performs 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. He becomes an Indra. Correct? He is qualified to become an Indra, and that's why Indra is fearful that Prithu Maharaj, this is the last sacrifice, 100th sacrifice he was performing, and if he would have performed that, then he would have become Indra. So that was Indra's fear, that he will take my position. That is again one more problem with Indra. And one more point Prabhupada is mentioning here is that this is the test for a successful yajna. Correct? So we see here that the animal is sacrificed in the yajna, but it would come out again with a new life. Correct? He will be rejuvenated and he will get new life. So the animal is killed, but he would get new life instantly. Doesn't have to wait to get a new life. Correct? And why? How this is happening? This is happening due to the properly pronouncing of the mantras. Correct? So we should understand one point here, that using animal for sacrifice is not actually sacrificing the animal. Why? Because the animal is getting new body immediately. And that is because of the power of those mantras. How properly and how purely they are chanted. But in this age of Kali, the previous ages, people had that purity and had that power. But in the age of Kali, such performance of yajnas, sacrifices, is not at all recommended. So only recommended sacrifices for this age of Kali is, what is that?
Sankirtan Yajna.
Correct. It is Sankirtan Yajna. And Sankirtan Yajna, the test given here is the animal gets new life again. So Sankirtan Yajna also, this test applies to Sankirtan Yajna also. We can take a material conditioned soul, and when he goes through this Sankirtan Yajna, then he comes out as liberated soul, isn't it? Prabhupada made that happen, correct? He made hippies into happies. So people in the modes of material nature, they drowned in Sankirtan movement and they came out as bright-faced, enlivened devotees of Lord Krishna, correct? So this Sankirtan Yajna is the only recommended Yajna for this age of Kali. Then yeah. Who wants to recite this shloka? Yes, who wants to recite?
May I, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you want to recite? Okay. Navakishori Mataji, you can.
Okay, Mataji. तम त्वरमाणं विहाय सा मुक्तमिव पाखण्डं यो धर्मे धर्म विभ्रमः. Mataji, should I read translation and purport?
Mataji, read the translation. Purport, I'll ask somebody.
Okay, Mataji. Translation, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, this dress was form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. When Indra went into outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Shall I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
The word purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The word pakhanda
Okay.
used in the
Mataji will read the next paragraph. Yes, Prabhuji.
The word pakhanda used.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Shall I read, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. You can read the first paragraph.
Okay, Mataji. It is to be scrolled little bit. Okay. The word pakhanda used in this verse is sometimes pronounced as pashanda. Both of these words indicate an impostor who presents himself as a very religious person but in actually is sinful. Indra took up the saffron-colored dress as a way of cheating others. This saffron dress has been misused by many impostors who present themselves as liberated persons or incarnations of God. In this way, people are cheated. As we have mentioned many times, the conditioned soul has a tendency to cheat. Therefore, this quality is also visible in a person like King Indra. It is understood that even King Indra is not liberated from the clutches of material contamination. Thus, the words amuktam iva, meaning as if we were liberated, are used. The saffron dress worn by a sannyasi announces to the world that he has renounced all worldly affairs and is simply engaged in the service of the Lord. Such a devotee is actually a sannyasi or liberated person. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1, it is stated, Anashritah karmaphalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna cha kriyaha. Shall I stop, Mataji?
Prabhuji, read the translation and then stop.
One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights on fire and performs no work. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ambika Mataji, you can read the next paragraph. In
Hare
other
Krishna
words.
Mataji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. In other words, one who offers the results of his activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually a sannyasi and yogi. Cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prithu Maharaj's sacrifice. This cheating was very foolishly introduced by King Indra. In some ages, such cheating is very prominent, and in other ages, not so prominent. It is the duty of a sannyasi to be very cautious because, as stated by Lord Chaitanya, Sannyasir alpa chidra sarva loke gaya. A little spot in sannyasi's character will be magnified by the public. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 12.51. Therefore, unless one is very sincere and serious, he should not take up the order of sannyasa. One should not use this order as a means to cheat the public. It is better not to take up sannyasa in this age of Kali because provocations are very strong in this age. Only a very exalted person, advanced in spiritual understanding, should attempt to take up sannyasa. One should not adopt this order as a means of livelihood or for some material purpose. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So Indra is stealing the horse and he dressed himself like a sannyasi. So see the cheating mentality of Indra. He created an impression of religion. Prabhupada gives the definition of pakhanda or pashanda, that impostor who presents himself as a very religious person, but in actuality is sinful. So Indra also looked like he is religious, but actually he is doing the activity of irreligion. That is, he is stealing the horse in the sacrifice. In Hindi, there is a saying that Hathi ke daat, the elephant, we see his two tusks, correct? Which we can see from outside. But with those tusks, the elephant doesn't eat. He has small teeth inside his mouth by which he eats his food, correct? So Indra is also doing the same thing. Outwardly, he is appearing like a sannyasi or a liberated person and very creating an impression of religion. But internally, what he is doing a sinful activity. He is stealing the horse in the sacrifice. So Indra is kind of founder acharya of imposters, we can say. It is mentioned in the purport that this cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prithu Maharaj, and this was introduced by King Indra. And Amuktam Iva means he is acting as if liberated, but he is actually not liberated. So a genuine sadhu. So such cheating sannyasis or cheating yogis are present in today's world. So a sannyasi should be very cautious about cautious from this cheating. And so it is said here that Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that Sanyasira Alpachidra Sarva Loke Gaya. Okay, that means a little spot, like on a white cloth, if there is a spot of an ink, correct? We can see it easily. We cannot hide that that dot, that spot, whatever it is. So similarly, a little spot in sannyasis, unless one is sincere and serious, we should not take up to the order of sannyasa. That is said. And also, in this age of Kali, because provocations are very strong in this age, correct? So sense control and mind control is very, very difficult in this age of Kali. correct? So many situations come in front of us, and it is very difficult to to control our senses and our mind in those situations. And so it is said that also Prabhupada writes that one should not adopt this order as a means of livelihood or for some material purposes, correct? So one should not, like we say that Bhagwat Saptah, people do, they do Bhagwat Saptah, and those priests or those preachers or those who are giving that Bhagwat Saptah, they charge a lot of money, correct? So kind of it is a, they are earning the money for their livelihood through the through this Bhagavad Katha, correct? So that's why this is condemned. Prabhupada is condemning all these things, that it should not be used as a means of livelihood. And so who is real sannyasi? It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Anashrita Karma Phalam, means one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is really in the renounced order of life, correct? Those one who is not attached to the fruits, so he may not be in the renounced order of life also. He may be a gruhastha, but still he is like a sannyasi, because he is not attached to his fruits of his work, and he is doing his duty perfectly, correct? Then he is also said to be. So it is not that one who has renounced everything, or who has who has taken up saffron dress, or who has shaven his head, only those persons can be sannyasis. That is not the case. One who is in grihasthashram, but who is unattached to the fruits of his work, and he is performing his duties very perfectly, he is also not less than a sannyasi. That's what Prabhupada is saying. So, yes, that is the end of today's verses. So we will just quickly revise what we did today. So firstly, we saw that how in the first verse, what we saw that how earth, how in the reign of Prithu Maharaj, how earth was producing everything profusely and in abundance. And we can see the difference in today's modern civilization, that why we are getting so many problems, because we are not sticking to the Vedic injunctions, we are not performing sacrifices, and that's why we are facing lot of problems in this material world. And then we saw that how Indra, who is who is the king of the heaven, but still he is a living entity, and how he becomes envious of Prithu Maharaj, correct? And he becomes fearful that he may take my position and he may become more famous than me. And then in that mood of enviousness, correct? So how envy is dangerous, that man can do anything and any horrible thing when one becomes envious. So what Indra does is, Indra steals the horse for that sacrifice, correct? And that sacrifice is actually meant for the pleasure of the Lord, but Indra steals that horse, and that too with wrong means. He becomes invisible and he steals the horse, correct? And then we saw that how because of this act, how cheating religion has come into existence, because he showed outwardly he is something else, and internally he is doing some other thing only, because he was dressed like a yogi or a sannyasi, and still he was stealing the horse which was meant for sacrifice, right? So I mean, that's why it is recommended that in this age of Kali, We just have to take shelter of three things: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, so that we can advance on spiritual path. So these three things, the number three is more significant here because we can see that whenever a professional photographer, he wants to uh, uh, take some photographs, he keeps his camera on a tripod, correct? It has three legs. If he tries to keep it on two legs only, then camera may fall over. But the tripod has three legs so that it has a sound base is there, correct? So similarly, we have this tripod in Krishna consciousness of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We have to take shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Then we have to take instructions from the scriptures or the shastras, and we have to be in association of sadhus so that we can we can walk on the path of spiritual path, and we can walk on the path of self realization, and then we can be servant of Krishna, and we can go back to him to serve him eternally, right? So thus we end today's session. So anybody has any comments or we want to say something?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, in this purport, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work. Any work, if we carry out, definitely we will get from results, from money, anything else. So unattachment means what? That anyhow we will receive the, if we do work, we will get the salary.
Correct. But salary, Prabhuji, yeah, you will work, you will get salary. But if you are giving donation to the temple from your salary,
okay,
then that salary becomes Krishnaized, Prabhuji.
Okay. Purification, then
You are
unattached
correct.
to
You
the
are
fruits.
utilizing it in the service of the Lord. See, if you are keeping all your salary for your sense gratification, for yourself only, for yourself and your family, then that is you are taking the fruits of the work, correct?
Okay,
But
okay.
if you are offering it to the Lord in return, correct, then that is being unattached to the work.
Okay.
So you have to perform your duty. You cannot escape from your duty, right? But you can reuse it in Krishna's service.
So a part should be given every month, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, ideally. Like in temples, we have something called as Nitya Seva, Mataji. Okay. So every month, certain amount, whatever is feasible for you, you can give as a donation to the temple, because temple is running lot of activities, right? So you can
also
be a part of that.
Can we give to Goshala, right? For
yes, Mataji.
Anything is fine.
Yes, Goshala also you can donate, no problem.
Yeah.
If it is Goshala temple is only running the Goshala, right, Mataji?
Yes.
Here, in near my place, there are 2-3 Goshalas. One in temple, and also I can see one person is having so many cows and maintaining it.
Okay. Just Mataji, try to, I mean, go through authentic sources. Okay.
But if I give to cows also, I will not give money, Mataji. I will ask them what they will give to the cow. I will get the list of that and I'll buy that food items for the cow and give. I just give that material only. I will not give money.
Okay, Mataji, that is good. But I'm just suggesting that if it is run by temple, then we are sure, that it is being properly used. That's why.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
In ISKCON, Sheshadripuram.
Yes.
they have started a Sudama Seva.
Huh.
This is a commitment from us for this monthly. We have to pay like this monthly subscription. We have to assure. Then we monthly we have to go on giving around 24 months.
Okay.
That
What
is a
it is
commitment.
called as?
Sudhama Seva.
Sudhama Seva.
Yes.
Okay.
Recently they have started.
Okay. Yes, this
For
is
development of temple, and then
temple.
and then for the
Fundraising. Yeah.
and then for the day-to-day affairs for that.
Yes. To
They are
maintain the
using for that.
temple.
Yes.
To maintain the temple, yes, Lakshmi is required.
Yes.
So, yes. Yes, Prabhuji, very good.
Yeah, I am also involved in that for that.
Yes.
That's why I am. That's why as because even any earnings, what we have done, it is to be purified by giving charity. That is
But correct.
the way.
So, Gruhasthashram, the main thing is we have to give charity.
Yes, Mataji.
That is how we can, as you said, we can purify our money, because we have to earn money to maintain our family and everything. So we are supposed to work, but then how we can purify is this way,
Okay. Hare
by
Krishna.
giving.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes. Anybody else wants to say something? Anybody has any questions or doubts or comments? Or you can share what you are taking from today's class. Just one point. Then we will stop.
Mataji, just a personal question. Why
Yes.
you're not coming in morning SPM class, Mataji? Before you used to come regularly, right? Morning classes. Morning 9:30, 11 o'clock class. 11 Bhagavad Gita. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
think
used to
Mataji
take.
comes for Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh,
Nahi,
okay.
Mataji, I used to take Bhagavad Gita classes in the morning, Mataji.
Oh, okay. So 11, that was completed. So you're not.
11:30. Yeah, 11:30 I used to take.
Yes. Not seeing you for long. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Morning it is little difficult. 9:30 is little difficult for me, Mataji.
Okay.
Evening is okay, and 11:30 was also okay, but little 9:30 is little. It becomes the morning time is so crucial. It becomes little difficult.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I
Yes,
have a
Prabhuji.
question, Mataji.
Yes,
Is
Prabhuji.
Indra envious even after knowing that Lord Prithu is Vishnu Tattva, Mataji, or is not aware of that, Mataji?
That is not that is it is not clearly mentioned in the purport, Prabhuji, but it is I will have to check, Prabhuji, but as far as I know, it is not clearly mentioned that Indra knew that Prithu is incarnation of Lord. But it is mentioned that because Indra is a living entity, he became envious. I mean, the 4 defects are applicable to Indra as well. That's what it
And
is.
he also has a guru in the form of Prahaspati, right, Mataji?
Yes,
Does he not
Prabhuji.
take advice from Prahaspati before any of his actions? Because we as a human being are following spiritual masters, and he being in the heavenly planet obviously has to follow all the rules very strictly.
Yes,
So
but still sometimes it happens, na? We do not follow the instructions of the guru, correct? So Indra has offended his guru. We know that story, isn't it, Prabhuji?
yes, Mataji.
Indra
And
offended
he
Brihaspati.
continuously keeps getting curse and coming
Correct.
out of the curse, and then
Yes.
again he does the same thing, repetition of
So,
mistake.
yes,
So
Indra is,
Indra can't be a god. He is not. He can't be an incarnation of God.
he is not incarnation, Mataji.
He is a
Mm.
demigod,
He is
Mataji,
a demigod.
Yes.
administrator.
Yeah.
He is a living entity like us, but he is given powers by Lord because he is king of heaven, Mataji.
So he also has a number of see, like Brahma can be there for 100 years, like that. Even Indra has that time limit.
Yeah, time limit is there in heavenly planets also. As compared to earthly planet, the lifespan is much more and much
Yes.
opulence is there in the heavenly planets. But again, they have I mean they are also mortal only. I mean they are not immortal living entities, Mataji.
Okay.
Like Brahma's life is also going to get over. Similarly, Indra is also.
Okay.
These are the positions given to them by the Lord to manage the world, this material world, we can see. So Indra actually, we see that lot of times he makes mistakes, but actually, it is to teach us the lessons that how living entities, should take care of all these things. That is for us. Lord is teaching us through his example. That's what we can understand. He's making Indra as an instrument to teach us so many things.
Nimitta matram.
Yeah, Nimitta matram. He's making him an instrument. Because he is making so many mistakes, and we living entities, if Indra does
maybe Indra, he will be victim then.
affect his position. Huh? Yes, Prabhuji.
Indra is the
Yes,
victim.
Divya Mataji, you are. Yes, yes, Prabhuji. And Divya Mataji asked that then he doesn't lose his position. So he loses because uh, we we know that story that in the became this thing a pig back punishment, Mataji. He had to I mean he had to live as pig for some time.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Yes, any other questions or any other comments? So shall we stop here? Thank you so much for patiently Panchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव धर्म की जय वैष्णव ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you so much once again, and we will stop.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Giridhar Gopal Prabhuji, I will just confirm and I will let you know in the next class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Yes, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranams.
Dandavat pranam. I will end the session.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat pranams.
Yes, Dandavat Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.